The beta test for Chrono Odyssey is live this weekend, and while I still have a lot of ground to cover in the game, I figured I would take a little time out to cover character creation. Because let's be real, there's no other real reason that people are playing MMOs, right? Alright, so I'm gonna aim to keep this as short and sweet as possible. I'm just gonna break this down into a simple pros and cons list while I show you two of the characters that I made. Now, I'm well aware that this is a beta test, and as there is no release date for this game, I'm sure that a lot of my complaints probably will be fixed by then. But we all know that RPG players love their aesthetics. So as a developer, if you can nail that, you would probably keep a customer base for a pretty decent amount of time, even if there's some points in your game that just fall flat. Alright, so for my first pro, the body sliders, absolutely nuts. And the jiggle physics, they're there. I know that that's an important thing for some people. There's jiggle physics, even through the armor. The color sliders give you a whole range of options, so you could literally make your OC any color. You want a green swamp thing? Do a green swamp thing. I almost wanted to try and make Elphaba, but I was dead set on trying to recreate myself. That failed, and I will get to why that failed in a bit. My second pro is just the insane amount of detail that is in the character themselves. I'm talking the way that the light hits the face, the way that the light hits the eyes, the ways that you can change the gaze of your character to where they're like looking out in the distance or they're looking closer, and it actually changes the look in their eye. It doesn't just change like where their eyeball is going. There's peach fuzz on the face. There's skin texture. I've not seen anything like this in an MMO. Yeah, I have not seen anything like this in an MMO. So the next pro I want to point out really is just the range of options that they give you for customizing your character. From changing the shape of your iris, to the makeup options, to even tattoos and tattoo size and placement and where you'd like to put it on your body. There's so many options for you to be able to create a unique character. With the exception of this really weird baby bangs blunt bob thing that's going on here, the hair options were also really good too. They could be better, but I'm not gonna nitpick. This is just a player test after all, so maybe they add more in later. The options weren't super diverse. Honestly, I've seen better, but this is one of the best looking afros that I've seen in a game before. Alright, so my cons. Take them with a grain of salt. The game's not out yet, and this is just a beta test weekend, so, you know, maybe they've got more in store that they're just not placing into the beta test. Alright, so first con or negative mark. While the body sliders are absolutely incredible, you can do a lot with the body sliders. The face sliders, on the other hand, I felt very limited. On the femme presenting characters, getting a nose that wasn't a ski slope nose felt incredibly impossible. One of my least favorite things in the world is actually character creation, and not because I don't like customizing a character, I just settle for customizing my character with armor over the years because I have never really had options that suited me trying to recreate myself in a game. While things have gotten drastically better in the last decade when it comes to characters and gaming, I do feel like with as much detail as they put into this, this was just one that they just could have easily just upped it just a little bit more. For the female characters, I felt like no matter what I did, the options were either look really ridiculous or end up with Instagram face. When I realized I couldn't get the nose right, I was like, I'm not going to try to create myself. I just ended up creating somebody who I thought looked cute. For the male character, I was actually trying to recreate Polnareff, and I'm not very good with sliders, but it felt like I got kind of close. The hair was begging me. I either needed to recreate Polnareff or that one dude from Tekken whose name I can't remember right now. But for whatever reason, and maybe this is my imagination, it felt like the male character had more range of motion in the brow bone and in the nose. I could actually bring the tip of his nose downward further than I could with the female character. But again, this is a player test, and you know, it's not necessarily meant to be the final product of the game. So in the off chance I get more than 100 views, or in the rare off chance that one of the devs sees this, maybe they take what I'm saying constructively and not as, you know, I'm being a hater. Points 2 and 3 under my cons list both relate to hair. I've already covered the first one, so I'm just gonna touch on it, and that one is just really simply the options when it comes to hair feel a little Eurocentric. And again, you know, there could be more coming upon the full release of the game, but you know, if you're a dev and there is not more coming, could you possibly, you know, make more? And the second thing in relating to the hair, the skin texture and all of the details on the body and face were absolutely amazing, and then the hair just kind of looked flat against it. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. Do you see it? And honestly, this doesn't even feel like a real complaint here. I'm nitpicking. I definitely had to stretch before I reached for this one right here. Because in any other game, this hair would be fine. You know, it'd be decent hair. But in comparison to like how good the skin and the details on the face look, it just pales in comparison. And to be honest, I don't know about you, but whenever I'm playing games, I'm kind of looking at the world around me. I'm not really spending a ton of time looking at my character directly. Because at no point while I was playing the beta test did I stop and think, you know, this hair just ain't it. Anyways, that was my quick overview of the character creation for Chrono Odyssey. And if you liked it, hit the thumbs up for me. And if you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Anyways, I'll see you nerds later.